Okay, this is my final presentation for ELRC 4507. So I chose to do my Weebly unit plan on Louisiana history culture because I teach 8th grade Louisiana history for gifted and talented students. So this is my Weebly website that I created. So on the home page, I just titled the website Louisiana History Culture. On the home page, I have the unit plan, and I put it behind some pictures of Louisiana. So unit plan, I have the author, my email address, the course name, Louisiana History, grade 8. I teach gifted and talented, but I do have some traditional classes as well. Unit plan title is Geography and Prehistory, but I'm focusing on geography here. So broad goals of my units. Students gain understanding of information and concepts. They can analyze, interpret, and draw conclusions from historical events. They can examine contributions of key events, ideas, and people influence in the development of Louisiana. They can develop spatial understanding through the study of location, distance, direction, pattern, shape, and arrangement. So that really focuses on the geography. They can evaluate relationships between cultural groups and physical features of Louisiana. They can determine the effects of the environment on people and places in Louisiana. So my unit summary is that students are going to describe Louisiana's physical and political features and how the features affect people of Louisiana, or how they have affected people of Louisiana in the past and how they affect them today. They're going to learn basic geography skills like map reading and determining latitude, longitude. And they will examine the first people to inhabit Louisiana, so that's where the prehistory comes in. But for my specific lesson plan, we're going to only focus on culture. So my grade level, I teach grade 8, like I said, gifted and talented. I have the CCSS standards up for history social studies, but we really don't use that as much as we use the Louisiana GLEs. So I put the Louisiana GLEs right here, and you can see there are a whole bunch, but I put my main objectives you'll see in my lesson plan. Here's my Weebly link. I'd need 10 90-minute class periods to do the entire unit. The lesson plan itself is only going to take 2 class periods. Prerequisite skills, they just need to know how to use Microsoft Office and PowerPoint, how to access internet searches, how to access this website, and they need reading and writing skills at a middle school level or higher. Materials, they need computers, internet connections, projection system, or I need those. They're going to need internet, web browser, multimedia, word processing, possibly other things if they want to do other things, and I'll explain that in a second. And then I have all these printed materials that I use for this unit. Supplies are going to be things like this, poster paper, markers, crayons, etc. And then I have a whole bunch of internet resources that I use. I didn't put it on here, but field trips. We try to take a field trip to Honey Island Swamp, but usually we end up doing it way after the physical geography unit, but then we incorporate some of the physical geography stuff into the Honey Island Swamp. And then assessments, formative are going to be project grades, quizzes, observation and feedback from me, writing grades, etc. Summative is the end of the unit assessment, which is the EDIMS test that comes every 9 weeks. Okay, so moving on to the lesson plan. All right, the lesson plan itself is culture and ethnic groups in Louisiana, the one that I chose to do for this project. So my objectives, students can describe cultural and ethnic groups in Louisiana and contributions made by these groups. They can explain how differences and similarities among ethnic groups led to the cooperation and conflict in Louisiana. And they can describe the causes and effects of cultural diffusion and its impact on diversity in Louisiana. So the first activity I have to do ahead of time, which I've already created and put in, and I'll show you in a second. I'm going to create a screencast-o-matic on PowerPoint that outlines basic information because I like to do something called a flipped classroom setting where they get the information kind of before they come into class. So they watch maybe 10 to 15-minute videos before they come into class, and then they've kind of got that background knowledge, and then they can start researching and actually doing projects. So they're going to have to watch the screencast-o-matic before they attend class, and then I have a bell ringer. I'll have a bell ringer that we kind of review together that kind of goes over some of these things that were in the screencast-o-matic. And then we'll briefly discuss the video and these questions, and I'll explain to them the assignment that they're going to do, show the students a model of the assignment, which I'll show you in a second because I did the model. And then they're going to either be put into groups of 2, or maybe they want to work alone, and they're going to create an electronic presentation of their choice. The reason I'm giving them a choice is because with gifted kids, a lot of the times I can't even think of some of the things they're going to come up with. So it's just better to let them come up with these things. And sometimes they know way more about technology than I do. So like I didn't know that you could create electronically created cartoons until I started working with some of these gifted kids, and they came up with some of these amazing cartoons. Or some of them like to do videos, or some of them like to do brochures, so it kind of gives them that differentiation and that choice in the matter. And then they're going to create a presentation with all these guidelines that I'll kind of go over in a second, and then they're going to have to present the presentations to their classmates. All right, so let's go look at the actual activity over here. So if you click over here, there we go. All right, so I have these objectives up here, and then I have my teacher technology activity, which is that screencast-o-matic I was just talking about. And I have all the bell ringer questions, so you could click on the screencast-o-matic.
Hey guys, alright, today
and you
I'm
can
going
watch
to talk to you about different
the
cultural
PowerPoint with the
regions
cultural
information.
regions. And then I will show them, so they'll do that before class, they'll watch that before class. And then I'm going to, when they get into class, they're going to have that bell ringer up, they'll answer the bell ringer questions, and then I will explain the technology assignment to them, and I'm going to show them this project on Crossroads. So I've done a little Prezi with this project. Some of them aren't super comfortable with Prezi, so I thought I'd do a Prezi instead of a PowerPoint, which they're usually more comfortable with. So we could just go through that a little bit. So it just has all the different things that are required in this, and I want to explain the requirements. So let me get back to that. So before I go into the rubric, I'll explain the requirements. So they're going to be put into groups of 2, or they can work alone, like I said. They're going to make something that's electronic, and then they are going to present their electronic presentation to their classmates. So I said the presentation has to be approved, an approved electronic method. It needs to include information on the key cultures found in a region, music, food, and arts, major tourist draws, characteristics and traditions, important history. So I'll assign them a cultural region in Louisiana, and then they'll do that. It needs to have a map of the assigned cultural region. It needs to include names of 2 major cities. And then I thought I'd tie this a little bit back into physical geography and say you have to have a map that shows the locations of the cities. You need latitude and longitude of the cities. They need to include a geographical feature that can be found in the cultural region. So once again, tying it back to that physical geography. And they need a picture of the geographical feature. They need information on at least 2 ethnic groups that can be found in the cultural region. And they need to answer these questions on these 2 different ethnic groups. They all need to answer these 3 questions. So in my example project, I didn't answer those questions, I just put them in there because I wouldn't want to give away the answers. All information has to be accurate and detailed. All group members have to participate in creation of the project. All of them have to participate during the presentation. Individual students have to ask at least 1 higher order thinking question, and individual students need to be courteous to others presenting. And then I have the rubric right here. Let's see if I can get it to go bigger. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so my categories are information on cultural regions, information on physical geography, information on ethnic groups, graphics, maps and pictures, research questions answered, use of class time is used well, presentation itself, so total possible points will be 100. Okay, and then they'll present these to each other, and I said on the rubric all group members have to present, they have to be courteous of each other's presentations, they have to use class time well, etc. So that is pretty much it for my Louisiana History Culture project. And please feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much.